Hi, I'm Christy from birdmentor.com. I teach people advanced skills for beginning birders. Can you hear that sound behind me? Yeah, there it is. Is it a raven? Or is it a crow? I know, a lot of people want to know that answer. Well, there's a few ways you can tell. One is by the voice. So listen for that sound we're hearing right now. Ooh, that's different. Okay, this is great. They're both here right now. All right, so this is perfect practice. What I want you to do right now, and you might want to go to maybe a private location, or if you're kind of more of a, you don't care so much what people think about you, go ahead and do this in public then. So I want you to practice these sounds for yourself. So when people wonder how to tell the difference between a raven or a crow, the first thing to do is listen for the voice. And so we just heard two different sounds. One was more high-pitched, that first sound, and the second one was deeper. Now, try this within yourself, okay? In your own voice, try and make the sound that we heard first. That one's a bit more high-pitched, so it goes something like this. Right? So that's kind of up in my head here. All that sound is coming from somewhere up around here. Now that second sound that we heard, that's coming from a bit deeper in my throat. It's more guttural. Let's try that. Right? So when the sound comes from there, that's the raven. When it comes from high up here in your head, like those right there, that's the crow. So there's a few other ways you can tell raven versus crow. And one of those is the shape of its tail. So I like to say, think of the raven as, just look at the name, the spelling of the name, right? So it's R-A-V-E-N. So raven has a V in its tail. Now it's not exactly a very sharp V, but it's more of a curved V, so kind of like that, right? So when you see the raven flying overhead, or the crow, whichever, you look up, and can you see that shape, the V, or the curved V in that tail? Now the crow, that has a C, right? It's more of an upside down, kind of a square, there you go, like that. More of a square C. It's a bit more flat. So the crow is flat and the raven is pretty pointed. Well, not pointed, but pretty curved. And then, of course, the raven is much larger and the crow is smaller. But you might sometimes have a large crow or a small raven, and they can be hard to tell apart. But I would just say, just listen for a little while and see if you can hear their voice and then mimic it. Is it the crow or the raven? That was the crow. That's great. It doesn't have to be that hard. And for just about any bird, really, it doesn't have to just be the crows and the ravens. Any bird that you hear, mimic that sound. Whenever you hear it, mimic it and try to repeat what that bird is doing. Notice where in your body that sound is coming from. And you'll have a much easier time remembering the sounds, and see if you can even make up your own phrases for them, right? The most easiest is the chickadee, of course. We'll talk about that in another video, though. Thanks so much for joining me today.